Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Mr. Clutch, back at it. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Um, Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you ate too much and watched some Turkey Day football. Had a couple good games go on. And a game that Dallas prefers me not to speak of, so I won't. I need to come out and apologize again. I have had a very long hiatus from the Mr. Clutch Sportscast world. There's been a lot going on around here, so I apologize. First and foremost, just get that off my chest. And I'm gonna try and make these once or twice a week. Try and get back to a pretty regular uploading schedule and all that other good stuff. So, yes, I apologize. I'm back. I'm going to try and do this more often. Happy Thanksgiving. Belated Thanksgiving. What else? I guess let's get into the video. So this week, I thought I would break down the Power 5 Conference Championship games in college football. There's the Big Ten Championship game, the Big 12 Championship game, Pac-12 Championship game, ACC Championship game, and SEC Championship game. So, first, I guess we'll break down the Big Ten Championship game between number 3 Wisconsin, I think number 3. Number 3 Wisconsin and number 7 or 8, I don't know, Ohio State. Wisconsin is 12-0, Ohio State is 10-2. Okay. Some of you may know that as a Michigan fan, I am required to, number 1, bleed maize and blue, which I checked today, I do. And number 2, vehemently hate Ohio State, which I do. So, full disclosure, I don't want Ohio State to win this game. That said, I don't think they will. I think that Wisconsin is too complete of a team. Alex Hornibrook, or I think that's his name, Wisconsin quarterback, is not great, but he's also not terrible. So basically, to put it in perspective, in the Big Ten, he's not JT Barrett, Ohio State's phenomenal miracle-making play quarterback, but he's not any quarterback on Michigan's team right now, which, other than maybe our third backup, is terrible. Just throw him into the pile of Michigan quarterbacks who have disappointed in the last 6 or 7 years. It's a fairly long list. Actually, that'd have to go back 10, 15 years. But anyways, that makes it a long list. I think Wisconsin wins, though. I think their defense is too good. I think their running game is going to be too much for Ohio State to handle. I think JT Barrett's going to have to do too much. And he also got banged up during the Michigan game. And if Ohio State starts their backup quarterback, I just don't think he'll be able to hold up. So I'm predicting Wisconsin wins the game, And I'm predicting they do it by a score of, let's see. Horningbrook throws 3 touchdowns. Wisconsin has 2 rushing touchdowns. It's 35 points. I'm predicting 35-24. Wisconsin wins. Alright, on to the Big 12. Number 2, Oklahoma against number... I think TCU might be 7, and Ohio State's 8. But anyway, number 2, Oklahoma against number 7, TCU. Oklahoma's 11-1. TCU is 10-2. But Oklahoma won the first matchup between the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs. So, go Sooners. I'm kidding. I really don't care who wins this game. TCU has been quite a surprise, though. Everybody thought that TCU was done. They were burying them before the season even began, and then they come out and go on a really great run, beating teams like Oklahoma State, another team that was expected to be really good out of the Big 12. And they ended up being good, but not college football playoff worthy. So TCU's been good this year. I'll say that. But Baker Mayfield. It's the TV remote, but I don't care. Sorry, that bounced onto my pad. That's the drop mic right there. Baker Mayfield can make any throw, anytime, anywhere. Just give him an opportunity. I think this offense is too good. They're too high-flying. And I think their defense holds on long enough to win the game. I mean, Oklahoma's one loss was to Iowa State, who ended up going 7-5 this year. So I mean, Oklahoma's beatable, but I just don't think it'll happen. It'll be closer than their last meeting, TCU and Oklahoma's last meeting, earlier in the year, but I don't think it'll be. Let's just call it 31-27, and leave it at that. Baker Mayfield throws for 3 touchdowns, rushes for another. I think TCU's quarterback situation is okay, but Kenny Hill is not Tom Brady, or for that matter, Baker Mayfield. So, there you go. There's Big 12 and Big 10. Now, Pac-12. We'll move to the Pac-12. Let's see. I don't know what Stanford is ranked, but it's Stanford against number 10 USC. They met earlier in the year as well. USC is either 9-2 or 10-2. I can't remember. Stanford is 9-3 though, so I want to say USC won the first game, but I could be wrong. You guys might have to check me on that. As I have said tongue-tied. As I have said in a much earlier video, Sam Darnold, or Darnold, however you say his name, has been good this year, but has not dazzled me. Has not made me go, wow, that's a number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft next year. He's a high 2nd round pick for me. And honestly, I would suggest he stay in college, because he needs another year or 2 of development just to make certain that there's no doubt he's physically gifted as an athlete, but he's a little trigger happy, I think, from the games that I've seen him play in. He looks trigger happy. He looks like he's also escape the pocket happy, which just means he likes to scramble out and do different things, and it's all fine and good, but when you scramble, you got to make sure that you either get back to the line of scrimmage. 1, get back to the line of scrimmage. 2, find a receiver who's open. Or 3, don't turn the ball over. The first 2 are hard enough. And then when you throw the third one in to a guy who leads the FBS college football world in turnovers, that's like not a big deal. It's cause for concern. Nah, we're fine. But if USC has any chance of getting into the college football playoff, which I don't think they will at this point, I think it's pretty much, if you're inside of the top 6 or 7, you have a chance. Anybody below that, I think you're going to have a hard time. Unless there's a massive collapse of the top 4 or 5 teams. All that being said, I think Stanford will win this game. I know it's a shock. They're going to need Bryce Love, their Heisman candidate running back, to go off. And they're going to need their quarterback to have a game much like they had against Notre Dame to close out the regular season. To be efficient, he doesn't have to dazzle with his numbers. He just needs to be efficient. So, I think Bryce Love wins the game. Sorry, Stanford wins the game. And Bryce Love rushes for 2 touchdowns. In a 28 I'm going to make it interesting. Stanford wins it in overtime. 28. Well, I guess it'd have to be something other than... We'll go 31-28. I think Darnold shows up fairly well, but has a late game turnover that essentially ends the game. There you go. Now, to the ACC. Number 1 Miami versus number 6... Right? I don't know. They're in the top 10. Miami. Both are 11-1. They have not played in the regular season. This one's tough. This one's really tough. Clemson's good, but I think Miami... I don't know. I think the turnover chain shows up. I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game. Miami pulls it out, 23-20. I would not be surprised if I'm wrong, though. Because Clemson's really good. Their offense is good. Their defense is good. Their quarterback this year, Kelly Bryant, is much like Deshaun Watson. He might be a tiny step down, but not very much. I think the Hurricanes are in good shape with Malik Rozier at quarterback, but I think Miami wins, and thus they propel themselves back into the college football playoff. And that leaves the SEC championship game between number 4 Auburn, I think. They're somewhere in there. Number 3 or 4 Auburn versus number 6 Georgia. Actually, I think they're 5. I honestly didn't remember the rankings. I think Auburn's defense shuts down Georgia's run game, thus making them one-dimensional, and Jake Fromm doesn't stand a chance. Sorry, Jake. Love you, but that's not happening. Georgia drops their second straight game to Auburn. They played in the regular season. Auburn destroyed Georgia, and that's what I think is going to happen. Auburn wins 31-17. This is Mr. Clutch. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, tell people about it. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.